Hi everyone, I am Janice de Belen, a student of Development Communications 206. I will be reporting layout and packaging of print materials under Module 5, including the importance of layout and packaging and principles of layout design. Development is about changing for the better, the social or economic change for improvement or progress. Development communication aims to change or improve something such as the socio-economic condition of people. We use numerous ways to communicate to transform the behavior of people or improve their quality of life. Our main duty as a development communicator is to use communication properly to promote development. We, as development communicators, play a significant and tedious role in bringing information to people and making them understand and accept the true meaning of the words we say. Is it just enough to speak the words to get your message across? Discussions are a major part of communication, but they are lacking when it comes to fully capturing the contents of an important message. Why is that? Because humans are visual beings. Studies show that the human brain tends to process visuals 60,000 times faster than text. The average human being can only retain about 20% of what they read, but they can retain as much as 80% of what they see. We can make use of visual aids to enhance data processing and organizational effectiveness, to make our readers and listeners not just receive information, but also accept and apply it to their everyday lives. Importance of layout and packaging. Your layout should enhance visual impact of the document and at the same time support the readability of its contents. The effective layout will sell more by talking less. Or you might just remember the four-letter word KISS. Keep it short and sweet. I remember producing information, education, and communication materials for people living in rural areas so that they will be able to apply for residential and agricultural patents easily. These materials were produced specifically for its intended audience. The layout is made in comic style so as not to burden the reader with text-heavy technical terms. Rather, it was made easy to the eyes due to the user-friendly images, and having both an English and Filipino version for everyone. A well-formatted document not only attracts the reader, but also provides an arrangement that will help the reader understand your message better. In producing print materials, you should write the content particularly well and make sure that the reader finds it interesting enough to look into it in more detail. Now we're going to talk about more of principles of layout design in this presentation.
How many minutes does it take to draw someone's attention? Most people make a first impression of a person within the first 7 seconds, so you have to make it count. In this lecture, I want to teach you the principles of layout design by stating the following visual communication and design principles. First one is design with a purpose. In producing layout materials, you should always think of the purpose of your design. Do not be tempted to create a layout design just based from your favorite color or from a certain thing that is not really related to your subject. First thing to consider is the direction and perspective. They are both used to show emphasis in creating graphic messages and design. In this layout sample, direction and perspective are both used to show emphasis. As you can see in this design, the text "You cannot put me in a box" was formed through a box formation to put emphasis on the meaning of the words. My creativity has no boundaries. Never put me in a box. Direction and perspective provides motion. and directs the viewer's eye. So anything in your graphic design that is pointing in a direction or helping move your audience's eye around the graphic design is considered as direction. Some of those ways can be with lines and arrowheads as shown in these images. And it can also be considered as implied line of sight. So direction can be shown by the way that elements and graphics are actually placed within the design itself. The design of the graphic text and the colors used creates emphasis on separate words, like the graphic text color is given the color white, while the design is given the color blue, to simply create an aesthetic view and a clear message of the design while keeping it interesting for the audience. As seen in the following design, Back to School, this arrow portrays the idea of going back to school by using the image of a book. In the following IEC material or publication material, the blue designs in the background was used to imitate or replicate the stream of water as shown in the message, reduce plastic and waste stream, improve solid waste management. There are a lot of ways to use direction and perspective to show the meaning behind your words. Colors are used to express mood or emotions in your design. It helps provide contrast and can have different meanings. Color isn't necessarily the thing that you look at. It's the thing that makes you sense something and makes you feel a lot of different emotions. Color helps to know what your audience target should feel when you use it in your designs. It helps them in expressing the right kind of feelings with the colors that you're using. In the following image, you can feel the depression, trauma, or the negative emotion that the author or the artist wants the audiences to feel. But with a lot of different colors that exist in the world, how will you be able to identify which colors is appropriate to use? There is a thing called color psychology. You can see red in a lot of market publications. The red color meaning is associated with excitement, passion, danger, energy, and action. Red is the iconic color used for brands like Coca-Cola and YouTube. The color red tends to encourage appetite, hence why brands like Coca-Cola use it often in their branding. Red is also used to build excitement. That is why YouTube used the color red due to the excitement of watching videos online. Seeing red in the YouTube website encourages you to want to press their play on their videos. Orange represents creativity, adventure, balance, success, and enthusiasm. Orange color meaning shines through in logos like Home Depot and Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon is children's channel, and so the logo accurately represents enthusiasm and creativity that the children's show would need through their playful orange color. Orange logo represents creativity. That's why it is also used in Home Depot products. In color psychology, the color meaning for yellow revolves around sunshine. It evokes feeling of happiness, positivity, optimism, but can also mean deceit and warning. As Vincent van Gogh said, "How wonderful yellow is. It stands for the sun." Yellow is a color that naturally grabs attention of the audience, and it also transmits an overflowing and limitless power. Some of the most iconic cars have linked their history around this color. The most significant car that used this color is Ferrari. 70 years after the birth of the prancing horse, enthusiasts still remember that yellow was the original color chosen by Enzo Ferrari himself. But we have to be careful in using the color yellow as well, because yellow, in some other perspective, means potential hazard. A stimulating color and very visible to humans, Yellow is made to trigger our attention. If there's a fog or any kind of bad weather, drivers will still be able to see yellow cars and any moving vehicle fairly well. It is a given thought that when you want to relax, you imagine the color blue. Without thinking too hard, you can always imagine the color blue when you use it in your spare time, like watching music videos on Facebook or reading some fun tweets on Twitter. Basically, blue means intelligence, trustworthiness, professionalism, reassurance, security, maturity, and modernity. Aside from being a calm color, blue means dependability on some companies. It is often used when companies are trying to convey that they have the characteristics that correspond with people's perceptions of blue, including trustworthiness. 8 of the 10 bank logos that do the best job of convincing people to entrust them with their financial future have logos in blue. The color blue is also used by large social media networking sites. Aside from dependability, from being known as large companies, they also want to portray the meaning of trustworthy. This means that they want to protect you, but they also want to guarantee that they won't sell your info to other big companies. Industries such as banks, healthcare, and other companies that require you to share important and valuable information needs to earn a high level of trust. Trust that they'll protect your data from thieves, but also that they won't sell your information to other reliable companies. In the previous Olympics, they used the official color pink as the urban landscape of the whole London area. But why did they choose the color pink? At the time, you can seldom see the color pink in the streets of London. That's why they use pink to make London colors distinct from almost everything else. No pink signages were existing before the said Olympics. Design should be simple. As said previously in this lecture, you should always keep in mind the following word: KISS. Keep it short and sweet. Always maintain to create one main idea per post, like the following image of a cat. We always have this tendency to create or put materials in our design, and it only makes our design more crowded. And instead of doing that, we should plan the materials ahead of time before making this layout. So it should be clean, unified, and more simple and pleasing to the eyes. In the following image, you can see a picture of a Calamian deer. It is used based on an exhibit theme, Loving the Wild. The exhibit revolves around the idea that loving the wild means loving ourselves, and it was portrayed in this image by dissolving the part of the Calamian deer and distorting its bottom part and transformed into a heart design. As you can realize in this statement, you don't really have to use complex images or crowded layouts just to make emphasis on your point or your subject. You just have to be creative and straightforward about it. Avoid lengthy paragraphs. Use high resolution and appealing images. Also, be clever with visuals. I use double exposure technique to simply put a subtle image of sisterly love while keeping the natural habitat of the Elin bushy-tailed cloud rat as the background. Design should be unified. Another thing to consider when producing your layout design is scale. Scale is a measurable size of an element in relationship to other elements in the design. You can use shapes, text, and icons to help emphasize different elements of your design. It helps to provide a certain mood with design elements and images based on what you're trying to portray. In the following image, I use a close-up photo of gardening. to merely emphasize urban agriculture. While the following photo, biodiversity photo contest, is the subject. As you can see, a landscape photo of a scenic place was used as the background, as the publication material is designed using the International Day for Biological Diversity as its subject. Scale helps bring contrast and can help guide the viewer's eyes. In the following photo, we used double exposure technique to make the audience realize that loving the wild, protecting them, and caring for them should be the same amount we give to ourselves. Because without nature, we will not exist. In the following image, April is celebrated as the month of planet Earth, and the Earth is placed inside a plastic bottle. This image supports the Beat Plastic Pollution campaign of DENR that aims to reduce the use of plastic by refusing the use of single-use plastics and make our little contributions big enough to save the entire planet. Design should be balanced, but not too balanced. Proximity refers to the grouping of elements to create harmony and balance. In the following image, we use black bars to send the message across by forcing your mind to read the text. It is good to see them alive. This layout technique aims to make the audiences feel the message behind it, which is to protect our biodiversity. In using proximity, you can always try a lot of different options. You can group materials in your layout design by using similarity, continuity, closure, area, or symmetry. You use this technique to either create chaos or create order, and it will definitely help guide your viewers' attention by what you group together. It also helps differentiate between different groups of elements to create contrast and bring meaning to your design. Proportion is the size of an element relative to other elements in the design. It helps achieve harmony, balance, and order within your design. In the following image, we use two hands to lift the earth, which would not happen in real life, but was used to create the thought, Kilos para sa kalikasan, building climate-resilient Philippines. Design should have contrast. Texture provides a three-dimensional look on a two-dimensional surface, and this can be achieved a number of different ways with value, with color, with shapes, and designs. Texture shows the look or feel of a surface. It can add visual interest and provide contrast when you applied it correctly with other elements in the design. Some examples of texture might be rough, silky, furry, or has a metallic texture. For the following image, we use different shapes and sizes of the color blue to imitate the texture of water. Same as the plastic bag at the background, and the bubbles and the mixture of color white and light blue to seemingly portray the underwater design in the text September. As you can see, you can really play a lot when using texture in your designs. It can really show that visual weight in your design and provide a good contrast. Design should have white spaces. As I mentioned earlier, direction and perspective creates motion in your designs. So having white spaces in your design maintains the cleanliness and keeps the focus of the audience eye into your subject. Typography is the design and style of text in your art. In the following example, we used artsy text to create the word bawal, which in the context used in this material is not applicable. Now in the following design, we used a more applicable text design, but the word use is not really the focus of the statement. Now in this last design, we use the technique of scale, texture, and proportion to give focus on the word bawal, which means prevention of capturing this endangered species. As you can see, it's not just the words that are shown, but it's also how they are shown, what style, what feeling and moods they portray. Different types of typography within your design can provide emphasis or focal points based on the different properties that you use. Fonts are a big part of design, especially when you're dealing with images that tries to portray a certain type of message. Having a vast knowledge about the different kinds of font types and styles and the different weights can help give emphasis on what you're trying to show in your future designs. In creating layout and print materials, there are really a lot of things to consider. But in the end, your creativity, your thoughts, your emotions can be visibly put together to create a beautiful image and a message that will last for a lifetime.
So that ends my presentation. I hope you learned well. Also, please check out other lectures of my groupmates and other discussion posts as well. And thank you for watching.